And my buddy Greg was like, hey, man, my back itches. Well, why don't you guys scratch my back? Mm-hmm. When he comes back, I go, yeah, well, I'll give you $10 if you find a guy with no arms to scratch your back. So as we're walking down to Harris, I go, you got to be kidding me, because I see it. And my other buddy on the team, his name was Matt. He's like, no way. And I go, this is my luck. This is really my luck going here in Vegas.
Oh, what a crispy crack that was.
I'm Matt.
I'm Jake.
And we're back.
You thought we were gone. We're not. We're back. We're better than ever. And we're going to have, I'm going to say it, we're going to have a golf edition this summer of us mic'd up on a golf course, swing by swing. Well, however it goes. But I want to do that so bad.
Oh, we're going to do it.
Bob Does Sports. We're coming for you. All right. Not actually, but it'd be fun.
No, that'd be so much fun.
But let's bring it back. We were back. We were doing some, this is the episode we're talking about.
Just poking around on Chat GPT.
Poking around with the Chat AI GPT. That is a lot of letters.
Chat GPT.
I don't even know. What does that stand for?
I was just about to say, I don't know what.
GPT. Let's take a guess. Before we say what we think it stands for. It's probably generated. No, it's not B. It's
GPT.
P. GPT, not B. What do you think it stands for?
I don't know.
Chat GPT. General Population Transcriber.
I don't know. Let's find
out. Let's see. I was close.
Generative pre-trained transformer. Interesting. Anyway.
Engaging conversations. Yeah, all that good stuff.
What are we going to do? Ask Chat GPT questions? Yeah. To give us some questions?
Well, literally, this is just going to be like, it's going to give us so many topics, I feel like, that we can just randomly branch off of and talk about.
So what prompt should I give it?
What's that?
So what kind of prompt should
I want to, let's start out with food, because have you seen the Maryland Food Boys recently? No? The Foodie Boys? They got in with Dave Portnoy. Barstool?
I don't know how I feel about Dave Portnoy. Sometimes I like him, sometimes I don't like him.
Yeah. But they're kind of like blowing up, and they do food reviews only. And they got in with Dave Portnoy to go to do a pizza review. Which was pretty cool. Oh,
is pineapple on pizza a culinary masterpiece or a crime?
Is that, you want me to start?
I go for it.
I think pineapple on pizza is a fantastic idea if it is paired with ham. I don't think anything else. It's a Hawaiian pizza.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with a Hawaiian pizza.
I don't have a strong debate either way, personally.
Do you like pineapples?
I really like pineapple.
Okay, perfect. So pineapple on pizza.
That's why I'm like, it works, but if people don't like it, and they don't like it.
Are you more of a cheese guy?
But if you're like
pepperoni guy.
I don't get the people who are like, it's a crime. You can't do that. If you like what you like, what does it matter?
Like what you like.
I like pineapple. Do I prefer to put it on pizza? No, but I'd rather grill it, have it on the side.
Different approach there.
Yeah.
Different approach. Okay. I'll read the next one.
Which fast food chain has the best fries?
Hands down, it's got to be.
This is a tough one. I don't know.
Okay, so I have an unpopular opinion. I would say, first thing that comes to mind is McDonald's. Like, they got to be
McDonald's
hot.
is top 3.
Top 3. But I will say there's a fry. I wouldn't even classify it as a fast food fry. I would classify it as like a fry that maybe like a little tavern might make, or like a hole in the wall. I'm talking fries that are fresh cut.
Oh, the fresh cut.
Like the ones that look like they're homemade.
I know. Yeah, I see them.
Those are good. Like when you see that.
Distinct fast food fries, though.
Okay, distinct fast food fries.
I gotta say,
nacho fries from Taco Bell.
I feel like Chick-fil-A's fries are up there. The problem I have when they're hot, man, they're good. But like,
which Chick-fil-A's? Waffle fries.
But for some reason,
they're good.
I feel like lately I've got them, they've been like not hot.
No,
They've just been
no, like they've been sitting and
Yeah, like
you're
they've
being
been
served them.
sitting.
Yeah,
Because
no
I
one
like
likes
a good
No one
waffle
likes a
fry.
sit and fry.
Waffle fries are good.
You
for,
know what I mean?
You know, dipping.
But
Dipping a waffle fry.
yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, Chick-fil-A sauce.
Yeah.
Eh.
It's just
You're a Cane's guy though. I can't
Yeah.
blame you. All right, here we go.
So,
Oh, whoa, that is crazy. You see the next question?
are boneless wings just glorified chicken nuggets?
No, we can't disgrace boneless wings like that. I don't like that. That's a shame. That is a shame, don't you think? Because you can sauce the nugs, or not the nugs, the boneless wings. You can sauce them up and however you want them. They're a little bit bigger, they're a little more crunchier. It's a wing. But I will say, if it's
Ugh.
boneless versus bone-in wings on top all day. You know what I mean?
Taste, yeah.
What do you think?
I hate to say it, but they kind of are glorified chicken nuggets. I mean, I hate to admit that.
I mean,
but
you're not
kinda
wrong.
Are.
You're not wrong. I mean, I hate to even admit it, but it's just that. Don't you, I feel like that's sad. You know, I feel like that's like
Doesn't take away
I
from
got
how
nothing
good they
to
are.
compare for it. But what?
Doesn't take away from how good they are.
Yeah, they're really good. They're really good.
I'll
Like
still eat a boneless wing any day.
I will say, McDonald's has really good chicken nuggets.
They do.
You know what I mean?
I mean, sometimes you catch a bone in there. Or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't
yes.
and you're like,
yes.
ugh, I'm not eating these for a while.
Oh,
And then
next day, hey, what's up, guys? 10-piece nugget. The Cavs just won or something.
yeah. So
What
I
do we-
guess I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm gonna say yeah, but whatever. I'm
To
still
an
gonna
ex-
eat them. I
to
don't
an
care.
extent, yes, but I'm still gonna call them boneless wings.
Oh yeah. Is cereal a soup?
I don't know. I feel like soup is hot, but you could eat
Yeah.
soup cold, and then someone's gonna make the argument cereal could be cold in soup. I don't know.
Yeah,
I-
but most cereal,
It's a biting. I feel like you're crunching.
I'm going no. No way.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
McDonald's or Wendy's nuggets?
Got a question from the crowd. I'm gonna go with.
Dang.
I don't go to Wendy's like ever, just because
I hate to say it.
it's overpriced and
I don't hate to
I mean,
say
so
it.
is McDonald's, but
I'm going Wendy's only because they have spicy nugs.
I was gonna say
I
spicy
love the
nugs.
spicy-
I was about to
If
say
we're
spicy
going-
nugs.
If we're going
Underrated.
regular nugget to regular nugget, I'm going McDonald's.
Yeah,
But that little bit of spice that Wendy's has puts me over the
I'm
edge.
definitely a spicy guy.
I like the
like
spicy
with
nuggets.
with spicy. I like spicy stuff. I should say. That was weird. I shouldn't have said that. Right, but I mean, like I like the spicy stuff. Oh, here he comes.
Oh no.
Here he comes. Here he literally comes. Why don't you show the
You
crowd?
get it.
Why don't you show the crowd your shirt real quick? Pop in front of the camera for me. Here's a really old picture of him. Come in here.
What's up, Hirsch?
What's up? How are you?
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Not too bad. You know,
Yeah. Here.
what are you guys talking about?
We're talking about food at the moment. We're literally having
food.
Chat GPT.
Are boneless wings
Runs.
glorified chicken nuggets?
Okay.
What's the best fast food French fry?
You know, I'm a fan of the crinkle fry, which you can only find at A&W, and that is
Doesn't
Arby's
Cane's
does not
have
have
that
the crinkle
too?
fry.
Yeah,
Doesn't
Cane's has crinkle fries.
Cane's has
no.
crinkle
Last
fries.
time I was at Arby's, they said they were out of crinkle fries. They
Arby's
didn't have
has curly
crinkle
fries.
Doesn't Cane's have crinkle
Arby's
fries?
have curly fries,
Yeah.
not crinkle fries.
Yeah, Cane's has the crinkle
Cane's
fry.
has crinkle fries.
And those are delicious. But a
Those
lot
are
of places do not have that option for the crinkle fries. So yeah. So
you really like
yeah.
crinkle fries, huh?
I do like those,
Yeah,
but they're hard
that's
to
good.
find.
That's
you can't
good.
just get them anywhere. Everyone has just your basic. I mean, would
Yeah.
you like an option? Wouldn't you like to go into a restaurant and say, would you like waffle fries? Would you like curly fries?
If-
Would you like
you
crinkle
got a
fries?
point there. You
Would
have
you
a point.
like seasoned fries? I would like that
I
option. But
I
you don't
agree.
get that option.
I agree. I went
What?
to this place called
Ooh.
On Tap the other day, and
Yeah.
I was going to be served regular fries, and you could upgrade to waffle. I'm like, let me get the waffle fries.
Yeah.
You know what I
Waffle
mean?
Fries
I
are
Do you
was
want
like,
delicious.
do you want a
way better,
chair? Are you
yeah.
gonna sit down?
I might. I might pull up a chair.
All right.
Is your hair? I'm just curious. Is your hair like always that pointy?
Yeah, it's delicious.
Okay.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
You like that, don't you?
I'm
Yeah.
saying, like,
Yeah.
is it ever flat? You know, like in
No,
the
'cause
shower, that
I
thing
gel
doesn't go
that
down.
bad boy up. That's why. Yeah, because it would be flat if I didn't put any little
I've
gel
never
in
seen
there.
you with flat hair.
No,
ever.
because
Nope.
I always
Spiky
I
always.
always put stuff in. Now if I'm
Spiky.
in the pool, and,
Yeah, then it goes
well,
down.
no, it goes
right?
up, but then
Right.
eventually it would go flat and be soft.
Yeah,
and
you go
nice.
underwater
Yeah.
and it's still up.
Well,
Imagine how
it
much.
will be, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
what?
Shark Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Yeah.
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 It looks good
No,
though.
that's-
I think it looks good.
Yeah. I've had this style for 35 years. Never done me wrong.
Right,
Yep. Still
right.
cut my own hair.
I've gone to
The last time I've
spiky-
gone to a
Nice.
barber was a year after I got married. So
Oh,
it's
wow.
been 26 years since I've been to a barber.
I go to a
Imagine what
barber
that
probably once
saved
a
me.
month. But
How
A
much
lot.
money that saved me.
I literally charge. It's like 40 some bucks every time I go.
What? $40 for what?
Trey?
What are they doing for
Haircut,
$40?
Trey.
Trey?
Yeah, Trey cuts my hair.
So
It's 40, but well, it's like
$40.
35, and I tip him like 10. So it's
What?
like 40. Yeah.
what?
I know.
I thought like how much is Best Cuts to go to Best Cuts?
No,
How much is
I've gotten botched so hard at like Great Clips. Is that what it's called?
Great clips,
Great
best
clips.
clips, sports clips. Sports
Sport
clips is
clips?
expensive, I heard.
It is. It's
But
they're
they
good
like
too.
put a hot towel on your neck and stuff. I've never been there, but that's what I've
Yes.
heard.
Yeah, that's what they talk about.
Yes.
They talk.
I
well,
thought this 40-year-old woman was flirting with me. I was like, oh, let's
well,
go.
yeah, you would get
Yeah.
all. Well, have you
Yeah.
seen the Filipino?
He's massaging
can't even
me.
talk. The Filipino ones that they give you that face massage, and they do the neck, and they do
Definitely
the
watching
whole
those on
thing.
TikTok.
I bet. I mean, I was like,
Right,
oh my
right.
god, I need one of those, but there's
Yeah.
no one that does that. I'd pay $40 for that,
Right. Yeah. You
but
get
I
the
ain't
whole
paying
experience.
$40 for a dang haircut where you could just get
Right.
clippers and just trim your hair
Yeah.
up.
Well,
I
he
mean, what the
fades me
hell?
up. He skin fades me up most of the time.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, but not for $40.
he's good at what he
You're
does.
telling me that's a $40 due?
No.
Oh.
I do it, style
I
it
mean-
different than what he does.
I mean, and I know what women pay. I mean, they're paying $70, $100, $150 for a haircut. Yeah, sorry. I'll do it in my house and clip my own hair.
right, right.
And I don't care what people think if my hair's all jacked up.
It looks good.
Because
I said it
obviously-
looks good.
I don't care.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
Hey,
yeah. Looks good.
it happens.
Yeah.
You just don't
You know,
care.
if someone's giving you, a hard time or
It's the experience you're paying for.
you just
not
point your head at them
necessarily
and
the
you hit
clip.
them, ram them, and stab them with your hair,
Mm-hmm.
No, but
Well-
it's like another weapon mechanism to your body. Like if you can't punch or like your legs all messed up right now, whatever, you just put your head down and hit them and you'll, poke them.
So you
Oh
s-
my God.
So you're saying I look like Bert?
Who?
Bert.
Yeah, he looks like Bert from
Yeah.
Bert and Ernie.
Yeah, you kind
Yeah.
of do actually. You
Yeah, I
kinda
got the
do.
Bert cut.
Yeah.
You know, it's been working for me.
Yeah.
You
For
know?
30 years,
Yeah,
whatever you
I
say.
don't care.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not there to impress anybody. So
Yeah.
it is what it is.
That's what it is.
So yeah,
Which-
and because I got a misshaped head, if you really want to know, I got a big old freaking bump on the top. I would shave my head. Literally, I would shave my head if I could, but I can't because I got this knot on the top of my head.
Okay.
This bump,
Yeah.
and if I cut it too low, this bump is exposed, and it looks really, really, really bad. Yeah, I used to have a flat top back in the day.
Not anymore, huh?
No, I got hit in the head with a buckeye.
Actually?
So, yeah,
Oh.
one of my friends one time,
Mm-hmm.
when I was a kid, it was the greatest shot ever. Before the YouTubes and before all the other stuff, we were delivering papers,
Yeah.
and I was running up the street, said something to him. We kind of got into it. I was booking down the block, and he made the throw of his life. Threw a buckeye, picked a buckeye up, threw it, hit me square on the top, and I was
Oh my
like,
God, that's like that
I was
scene from
literally
Elf.
40 yards away.
Like a snowball.
Yep,
just-
hit him right on the top of the head
Snowball.
and dropped me down on the ground.
Wow, that's
From a
Saw
buckeye.
stars from a buckeye.
Wow.
Happens.
Happens.
And that's what I'm saying. That's where that bump's from. I swear to God, I think that's where that bump on the top of my head
and maybe
came
you're
from.
right. Maybe you're right.
Yeah,
Ask ChatGPT, did this guy actually get hit with
Yeah,
the buckeye?
I did.
Right. Yeah.
I did.
Speaking of
Before the YouTube.
stories, I have a story I wanted to bring up today
Talk
because it's
about-
fresh.
yeah,
It's
go ahead.
fresh.
Go ahead.
So, in the gas station, what were we doing? Oh yeah, we were getting.
We were at the gas station.
Yeah, we were going to get Polar Pops and like ices, right? So we're at the counter. This guy, this dude walks in, starts screaming. He's just like,
Is this which way you guessed it? Is this right by your house?
Circle K.
Or-
Right.
I know
224.
Right.
Right off 224.
Yeah.
We're at that Circle K. This
Yep.
guy comes in. He's screaming. He's like, what's going on? I think there's some guy in there he must know, I'm assuming. And he's just like, I don't know what to do. She keeps putting the piss pads on the piss pads. She's disgusting. Only thing I can think of is get rid of her. There's more than that. But that's
All I could think about.
But that's the only thing I can make out of what he's saying, out of everything he's saying. Something about some girl. He's trying to get rid of her. He's pissed off. Something about piss pads on piss pads. On and on and on and on and on. Meanwhile, Ken's is checking out, and I'm like paying attention to this guy kind of on my phone.
Yeah.
She's checking out.
I'd be on high alert.
The guy at the cash register leans over and whispers in her ear and goes, now I understand why some species eat their own.
He said that to Ken?
Yeah.
I was like, he goes, I understand now why some species eat their young.
Whispers it. She's almost like,
I like that.
she almost is on the ground laughing.
Yeah, it would be.
Like this guy, he's like the older guy, and he's like listening to this too. And then he just like leans over. I didn't hear it at the time. I'm like looking at my phone, looking at him.
Yeah.
She's like keeling over on the ground. I'm like, what? She goes, he just said that's why some species eat their young.
Eat their young.
And this guy, meanwhile, was still going on and on to some other dude in the store screaming.
What?
Should've seen the crowd
Oh, that's a
And
crazy
then
story.
then we're walking out, and like this guy, like his demeanor and his
Yeah.
stature,
Yeah.
about 4 more people look just like him walk in.
Heck, hillbilly.
Yeah.
But yeah. Older, younger.
Well, just all kinds of people just. Well, I'm like,
I mean,
I'm
you
glad
don't
we're getting
hear
out of
many-
here. I don't know what's
yeah,
going on.
You don't hear too many people talk like that anymore, I don't feel
No.
like. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not right.
They're out there.
Yeah, I guess they're just out there.
I needed
Yeah.
to document that. That was something
That's kind of wild.
you can't make
That's
up.
crazy. I'd be scared. I feel like I'd be scared. Like,
Oh, you weren't.
like,
Nah, I wasn't
what?
scared. I was like, what is going on right now?
yeah. Well, if he just came in and started yelling, I'd be like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Boy, you got a pretty mouth. Then you'd run.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
No. Nothing crazy like
But,
that. eh?
what we didn't get though at Circle
Like
K was
that.
food, which was the topic we were on.
Oh, yeah.
Bring this back
Yeah.
around.
Run it back to food.
If we're gonna keep going down the list,
Or we can switch
or
it.
do
We
you
can
wanna switch
go.
it up?
We should do something gas station related. I don't even know. Gas station questions. What do you got for
Here,
us?
I got a funny story for you guys.
All right.
So, back in my early days when I graduated school, one of my first jobs coming out of school, I was a manager at the Rite Aid.
Oh, I know where this is going.
So,
You were a manager at Rite Aid?
I was a manager at Rite Aid.
Okay.
And so, as a manager at Rite Aid, slave labor, let me just tell you. So anyway,
Yeah,
they
you're
would
making
move
$5
you. They would
an
move
hour.
you. Yeah, they would move you to different stores. You had to bounce around, and you would do different things. Well, I ended up at a store up in Cleveland
Mm-hmm.
and inner city.
Mm.
So it was an inner city store, and I'm in there helping them because they're rebranding the store. They're moving the shelves around and restocking things, and I'm in there working. So I'm facing stocking stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy comes up. He's walking down the aisle. I see him coming. I kind of turn.
Wait,
and he's-
what?
And he's scratching his crotch. So
You saw him coming?
he was coming down the aisle. So he's coming down the aisle because I'm sitting there and I'm stocking the shelf. Yes. Yeah. So get your head out of the gutter. And as he's walking towards me, he's scratching his crotch.
All right.
And he's itching.
Yeah.
And he looks at me and he goes, "Hey, you know where that crab medicine's at?" I said, "What?" He goes, "You know that crab medicine." And he's scratching his crotch. I'm like, "I don't work in this store, man, but I think it's 2 aisles over, but I'm not sure." Just get the hell away from me, man. And he's scratching his whole time. He's just like, "You know where that crab medicine's at?"
It's disgusting.
I'm like,
I'd be
"Oh."
freaked out, man.
Yeah, I'm just like,
People are weird.
okay.
What's up with you
What's
guys
going
and
on,
these
man?
crazy stories? That's just,
Yeah.
I hope I get one of those. You know,
Yeah.
I need to have one. Just to,
Yeah.
what'd you say?
You hope you get crabs.
No,
Yeah.
no.
It's like
No.
you could just shave your balls now. I mean,
I-
nowadays, they have the groomers and stuff.
No.
Back then, they didn't have the groomers,
No,
I guess. But
Yeah, Manscaped
he's
sponsor
just,
us.
Oh my God,
What
I
the
shouldn't
heck,
even
man?
say this. And speaking of
it's like,
Manscaped,
Jesus.
Well,
You bought it?
no,
Aw.
no, I can't bring this up. I can't. It's just like it's not. There's this guy I work with. It's this funny story. It's really short. It's really short.
Tell the story.
Um,
I could always take it out.
Yeah, you can take it out or just. I won't mention any names.
I would say I could bleep it.
I work with this guy. He's a little older, and he was like, I don't even know how it got brought up, but he's like, I met this girl off of Facebook, and I'm going on a blind date tomorrow at this place. And I'm like, oh, nice, that's great, dude. You're gonna get some. That's what I said, jokingly. Joke, no, okay. He goes, yeah. I manscaped myself. I'm ready to go. I'm like, dude,
Too much information.
too much information. Don't tell me that. He's like,
Is it who I think it is? Do I know him?
no,
Oh, okay,
I
never
don't think
mind.
so. But like, there's other people around, and I don't know. It was just bizarre. He told me that. And I was like, dude, what are you doing? Like, don't tell me that. So that was gross. You can probably
That's
take
funny.
that out, but that was
That's funny.
Oh, good Lord.
Yep. Then had a college class, and you went to college. Probably took college algebra. And it seems like the in college, all the math classes, they have Indians that are teaching those courses.
Yeah.
So they're hard to kind of understand at
Right.
some point.
Right.
So sitting in class,
They always be
And he
like,
goes-
do we the wolves?
and he's up on the board, and he starts doing the stuff, and he goes, and now you take the pair of TGs and you multiply by 3, and you do the. I'm like, pair of TG, what the hell? And I'm looking at the girl next to me, and I'm like, what the hell is a pair of T? Did he just say pair of TG? What the hell is? And I'm like, and we look back, and he's doing it on the board, and they're parentheses.
Oh.
And I'm like, he said pair of TG. I don't know what the hell. And you take the pair of TG and you multiply. I'm like, what the hell? Like, okay, this is a college course. I can't understand you. How am I going to know what the hell I'm doing in algebra? The pair of TG.
Yeah,
Get
pair
out
of
of here.
TG. Come on now.
You take the pair of TG.
That's
Yeah.
terrible. I hate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That was
I just had only weird guy I had was my science professor. We went outside to do like we were going over like different plants and
Yeah.
different stuff outside, and he kept like eating leaves and stuff.
what?
He's like, yeah, these are edible. You can eat these. This is a blah blah blah.
No.
And he like rip it off and just start eating it and go about his. We'd go through and he'd be like,
Oh my
you can boil
God.
these down, and this tastes like lemonade.
What?
Yeah, like all this weird stuff, and he'd start eating
Weird
stuff.
professors, man.
That-
They had some weird ones in college.
I had one that didn't believe in technology at all.
Oh, yeah,
And he
this
was
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this guy lived on a farm and had a flip phone. He's like, this is all I got.
yeah.
Ugh.
This guy, yeah, same.
And then
same
COVID happened and
thing.
that class just ended.
Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah, for your generation.
can't be a
yeah.
teacher
Because he was like,
anymore.
I
yeah.
can't do anything from home because
Clueless.
all I have is this little flip phone.
Clueless. That you gotta wonder, like those guys, like they don't have a game plan. They're showing up to work probably hungover. Who
Oh,
knows?
I had an
Who
English teacher
knows?
for my English 101. Had this English, and he was a freaking freak. He would come in, his hair's all messed up and just all wackadoodle, and you had to write papers.
Yeah.
He would come in
That's like-
the class, and he'd say, the first thing he said, if I'm not here 10 minutes after class starts, you guys could just leave. So that was day one. So we knew going in 10 minutes, if we were sitting in the classroom and 10 minutes he didn't show up, we could just leave. Well, he would just come in randomly. You would have a class and he would go, okay, you need to write a paper on objects and things. Imagine you're laying in your bedroom and you seeing everything in your bedroom. I want you to write a paper on that. And you were like, what?
Yeah. Like, what?
So I
How
wrote this
long?
paper.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, that's a hell of a paper. I'm like looking at all this stuff in my room and I'm like, yeah, this is, and I'm writing this paper. Gave me a C plus on it. And I thought it was a great paper. He's like, "Oh, you didn't do this, and you didn't." Well, how was I supposed to do this? You told me to look around my room and write about all this stuff in my room, like wackadoodle, man.
Sounds like you're just mad you got a C.
Well, I was mad about that too.
Yeah.
Well, that too.
Pressed
I was mad
still
about
to this day
don't
about
just sit
C.
here. Oh, just write about what you see in your room, and this is you're just going to do
What
an
you see.
objective.
Yeah, what you see is
Right.
you see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. What are you looking for?
The best was my
Right.
teacher in high school, and we had to write a 2-page paper on a second in time. You had to break down
What?
like 1 second in time
Oh my
and
god.
break it down and write it in 2 pages.
Yeah,
No
right
way.
there. Yeah.
What
So
are you
like,
supposed to talk
like
about?
for instance, one
I was
One
about
that
to
did
blink, but before
like
I
a
blinked, I
pitch in
saw this.
baseball. Like it usually happens in a split second. So you have to describe a pitch in baseball over like 2 pages.
No
like
way.
that's the exercise.
How would you
right.
even do
so
that?
the
Yeah. So then
how
you're
the
talking about the
ball's moving
velocity
and
of the ball and the pitcher
and how
and
you
how
can see the strings.
Yeah,
and
it's
all
all
that.
about- yeah.
I
It was
get
hard.
but yeah, no.
Get as like descriptive as possible.
And how's
Yeah.
that? And how's that get you a job?
Yeah, I was gonna say, how as a
yeah.
teacher do you want to
Right.
even read that? No way they read the whole papers, right?
Well, funny story.
I'm gonna
is-
grade these papers over
so-
the weekend.
So in a
Yeah, right. That's a waste of my time,
Earth science class at university,
huh?
in Earth science.
Let's
So
start
we're
over.
taking-
I lost you. What are we talking
so
about?
at the university,
Okay.
taking Earth science class, and in Earth science at the university, because there's so many people, there's like 200 people in this class, 250 people.
Okay.
Comes down to the finals. So you're in this big, huge classroom. Everyone's taking their final.
Mhm.
And not that Earth Science is anything shattering or a hard course or anything like that.
Mhm.
So everyone's doing their finals, filling the stuff out. This guy, there's probably still 100 people left just filling out the tape. And he walks up to the front. Well, at that point, the teachers don't know who you are because the classes are so big.
Right. Right.
Walks up, goes to turn in his paper and goes to put, and the professor goes, "I've been watching you this whole semester and you've done nothing but cheat. You've cheated on this test, you've cheated on this test." And she just started going off and said, "What is your name?" And he goes, I swear to God, he goes, "You don't know my name?" And she goes, "No." And he took the stack of papers and he picked them up and he put his test in there and he went, "Shoot, shoot, shoot," and put him right down and he walked right out. And everyone that was looking up because it's kind of the thing going on, and he just walked out.
What?
And it was like, that's a badass.
Yeah,
I was
right,
like, oh
right.
shit, yeah.
Dang.
He got, yeah, and her face got bright red, like she didn't know what to do because she didn't know who he
Nothing
was.
she can do.
And he just went, what are you gonna
Yeah.
do? And he just walked
Right.
out and he was gone.
Oh my god.
I was like, oh, man,
that's a cool story though.
I wish I had that moxie.
Yeah, that's a cool story.
Yeah.
I wish I would have done. See, I did something completely different. I would when I was in middle school, I was pretty dumb in middle school. I mean, I'm still pretty dumb, but
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I should probably have been in like the special classes, like with some help. But I would like literally walk up to the front of the. I already said this, but I was smart in other ways. Put it that way. Like I would use my resources. So like I didn't know. I never studied for the test, and there was always like a student aide in the back of the classroom. So I would go back to her. She'd practically give me the answer. I'm like, okay, we can do that, or could walk up to the front of the classroom to the actual teacher. It's a bubble test, whatever. And she had the answer key on her desk.
Right.
Yeah, I'd just be like, hey, what's the answer to this question? You know,
Yeah,
I'm
glance
looking
over,
and
yeah.
I'm like, okay, A, B, B, B. You know, I'm like, memorize a code. I'm like,
Right.
yep.
There you go.
You know, smart in
Yeah,
other ways,
yeah,
I guess. You know,
exactly.
smart in other ways.
Yeah,
You
ain't
gotta do
cheating,
what-
you ain't
You got to
trying.
do what you got to
What?
do.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
You ain't trying. You know what I
Well,
mean?
I have another.
But
I have another story that I've never talked about.
you've never told anybody this story?
Never really told anybody.
this is
this
fresh.
story.
Oh, this is fresh. All right, let's hear it. I'm ready.
So, when I was in high school,
Mm-hmm.
of course, I went to a Catholic high school.
Okay.
We had to take religion class,
Yeah. I went to a Catholic
And-
middle school.
and my senior year, we would have the teacher that we had to watch Gandhi. We had to do all these things. It was over the top with all this religion stuff. So it comes down to the final. Well, I needed to get a good grade on the final. So, of course, I had that class later in the day. So, of course, you know how school goes where everyone's telling you what's on the test, kind of what you need to know because they've taken the test and they've done their thing.
I forgot about
So-
that. That's
so
clutch when people would do that.
So I made a little cheat sheet about this big, about yay big, and wrote real small
Okay.
a lot of the answers to the
Right.
test.
Okay.
And I used to tuck it right by my leg and
Right.
have it there. So I'm doing the test. And this is spring, so this is in May, end of the school year. You're taking the final. The windows were open in the classroom. And my buddy was sitting right behind me. So my buddy would sit right behind me. And it was an act of God.
I was gonna say, I don't want to interrupt your story.
No, it was.
Don't tell me that a gust of wind made it through the window and happened to just and take your paper. Don't tell me that.
It was an act of God. And this is a true story to this. So I'm sitting there, and next thing you know, here comes the gust of wind comes through, and it sucks it up. And we were sitting in rows.
A direct beeline
and it went
towards your legs.
But it went up and fluttered and went over like 3 desks and went down and under.
This.
I swear to God, to my life, my buddy will tell me. He was right behind me.
No way.
He was the only one that saw it. No one else saw it. And it went up and it fluttered and went right underneath the front desk. And I was like, oh shit.
Right.
Like, what am I going to? And I'm looking at my pen and I'm like, had the same pen that I was using to write that out.
Yeah.
And the girl's desk that it went under, she was like a valedictorian. She was smarter than hell.
Of
whatever.
course.
And I'm like,
Of course.
and I'm like, oh shit. And I'm like, oh shit. So I'm still filling out, almost done with my test. Filling out. My buddy Chris is just like, you're in trouble, man. You're going to get screwed. And I'm like, son of a bitch. So I'm like, all right. So I hurried up. I filled out the rest of it. Meanwhile, the teacher walks across and sees a piece of paper under the desk and picks it up. Next thing you know, he looks at it and his face is getting red. And I'm sitting there going, what the hell? Well, I'm screwed. I'm so screwed. And ended up, I turned in my paper, whatever. He reached out to the girl because he thought it was her paper, talked to her or whatever, but I never got busted. Never got out of it.
That is
God's wind.
Yeah.
For real. Like
Yeah.
I was.
Yeah. No,
That's
I'm saying it was an
crazy.
act of
That's
God
cool
because
story.
the only thing,
That's a cool
it just swept in and it just fluttered, went away like a butterfly. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's one of my crazy stories. I
That's
got many.
awesome.
I don't have any crazy stories.
The craziest thing I got is me chipping in from about 66 yards away. About it.
Yeah, it's a good story.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
really exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clay saw it, and then
Bruce saw me chipping. He was the only one who seen me chipping from it was probably close 40, 50 yards,
dude,
something
it's
like
exciting.
that. It was crazy.
It's so
I
exciting.
struggled to get up there. It was like a par 4 basic. I struggled to get up there. I'm already
Yeah.
like bogey. I'm like 50 yards out for a bogey.
Yeah.
And then Brew watched me, boom, right in. I'm like, oh, momentum's changed.
Yeah. Dude, such a good feeling when you can hit a good shot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
such
it
a-
feels so good.
I want to ask you guys something. Do you guys believe in the
Aliens.
not
Bigfoot?
aliens? No, this is sticking with golf. That's not at all where I was going. But do you
I can fly.
Do you guys believe in the perfect level of Miller Lite in your system, or swing oil, or when you're golfing and you crack open a Miller Lite
The
Or-
perfect. Yeah.
and you're just like flushing everything?
Yeah.
Like I believe in that. Like I'm at the
Well, you're
perfect-
loose.
Yes.
It loosens you up, but you
Yeah.
can't go too far. You got to
Exactly.
be just
Can't
at that
go
right
too
level.
far.
Got a question.
Yeah.
This is a little bit off topic, but same topic. I was
Yeah.
talking to a guy at work, and we were talking about golf and stuff. And he was
Yeah.
talking about that same thing. He's like, I was like, you call it the slot. When
The
you're in the
slots.
slot,
Yes.
right?
The
And like
slots.
you're just hitting. We were talking about basketball. He goes, I think that works in basketball. Like when you're shooting.
Oh, like
I don't-
having some like.
I was like,
juice
when
in
you're in
you?
the slot, you're
When
just
you're in the
making
slot.
everything. I was like, I gotta ask you, because I was like, you're the man who shows up to our
Me?
games. in the slot.
Not all the time. Not all the time. That would be Evan. He might be over the slot actually.
The time that I showed up in the slot was when I scored 15 points.
And I
think.
told him, I said, I don't know, but
It
when he's
might
in his
work.
slot, I was like, he's
In the
aggressive.
slot, I think it's the White Claw. I think it's the White Claw. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it's the White. But here's my thing. I have
Natty Light.
there you go. That's disgusting.
That is disgusting.
I'm so sorry. you
It's
have
not
to drink
disgusting. It doesn't taste like anything. There's no flavor.
Let me get a sip of that. Actually,
There's no
Try
flavor.
that. I haven't had this since we taste tested. Though.
Natty Light's drinkable.
We gotta get.
Oh
It's
yeah,
not
it tastes like water.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's drinkable, but it's
we gotta get
bad.
Josh back on for like a
It's like water.
round 2.
We're gonna do one with
Oh,
Mad
yeah.
Dog.
No,
I'm
we should
giving
do
you
the
Mad
best.
Dog
We should do the
experience.
best. We did the worst. We gotta do the best. And we'll
Best
get Josh
beers?
on.
Best beers or
Yeah.
best? Is
Yeah.
that what we did?
We did worst
Worst
beers.
beers. Yeah, we could go for.
Well, I
best
say we gotta
beers.
do, but Josh is. I feel like he's got to be our beer
Yeah.
enthusiast now.
Beer enthusiast guy. I like that.
Yeah.
But I would say I agree. The slot is a real thing, and
Well, if you're
as long
feeling
as you
it,
don't
yeah.
go over, as long as
Yeah.
you don't go over golf.
That's any.
I gotta
any
say,
sport, any
I
sport.
wasn't. I wasn't there for the
Doesn't-
last game, but I did happen to see you miss 2 free throws right at the beginning. I said he's got one in him. I watched you miss both. I said, "Uh-oh, this is a bad omen. This is a."
You saw
bad
that?
omen."
You saw that?
Yeah, I saw the beginning of the game.
No.
And I said,
no,
"Really? These are the
no.
guys we're playing?"
They were not aggressive either. That was
and
the
you
worst
guys blew
part.
it.
Yeah, I was mad. I wasn't. I think I was very close to being in the slot because I had a few good like
You
layups.
think? I saw those free throws.
Not the free throws. I'm talking later in the game though. I think what
Yeah,
it was.
you got there. I'm assuming.
Huh? Yeah, I got I was aggressive. I went up where they got fouled.
Did you guys win a game?
No,
No, we went 0-8.
Jesus.
Yeah.
we were bad.
We were 0-8.
Yeah, that's bad.
That's,
When I averaged like 15 and was our leading scorer, that's a problem.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
But April 7th,
It's
new league
embarrassing.
starting.
yeah, we
I think
got
we're gonna be good. We're
we
gonna
got
be
new
good.
hope. We got new hope. We got a new team. We got a new
Yeah.
team. Oh, kind of. We got the same core guys. The
Yeah.
best core guys that we had on our
Yeah, and
previous.
this is
team.
not offense. This is a good thing. When
Yeah.
he's our worst player, we got a pretty good team.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
No, but when you're our arguably second or third best player, and I'm the best player,
So-
on our team previously that we just went 0-8 on, I was like, top 3 players on the team. Me, Jake, and
also the
Matt.
biggest,
Also the biggest.
Well,
tallest, and
I
heaviest.
have never in my life, been a guy that you rely on for basketball. Ever in my life.
Yeah.
And the fact that they have.
Well, that happens
just-
depending on the team that you're on and stuff. And
But-
when I was your guys' age, we played ball too. I was on a basketball team, and we had a team. We played a couple years together with a couple guys, and we were pretty good. And we played this team called the Club of the Deaf.
You
Deaf-
lost to
deaf or
a
deaf?
deaf team.
Deaf or death?
Deaf.
DEAF.
Couldn't hear.
Deaf.
Couldn't
Couldn't
hear.
hear.
Couldn't hear.
Okay.
And we got into a fight with them. All out brawl.
I'm not gonna.
So this was
I
on a
can't
this is
say-
on a
I'm in
Y.
trouble.
This is a Y ball. This is Y ball.
Yep.
So
My thoughts. My true.
So yeah,
thoughts
so
right
you know things were getting heated during the game and
Right.
this and that, and just like a typical game.
now.
And next thing you know, one of our guys, he's going at this other guy, and then we got to go in, and we're going and we're all dropping F-bombs and this and that. And the funny part is it took us about 3 minutes to realize we're the only ones saying anything. And on top of it, we
I
lost
need to exclude myself from
and
this
then we,
conversation. I have so many things
I
to
know.
say right
and
now.
then we lost to them.
can't say
But
it.
I tell you what, they were good. And we learned a lesson that day. It was a valuable lesson.
Mhm.
You don't need to hear to play basketball. They were a lot better than we were.
Yeah.
Why is it?
I
I
kinda
want to
want a
know.
Natty Light
I
now,
know. I
man.
want to
I
know
kinda
why it
want a
is
Natty Light. You're
that
hitting
our
on Natty
our
Light,
tendency as a race,
Yeah.
when you see or communicate with a deaf person, why instantly you think you need to talk louder.
Or see, I don't.
So
I don't
in our
think
golf
that-
league,
Oh yeah, we do
we
know.
have we have
Josh
a
is-
guy.
I feel like an empathy.
It's
That's
one of
more
facial
Josh's.
expression
So
thing for
Josh's
me.
dad's best
Right.
friend is deaf,
Right.
Josh's dad's best friend?
Yes.
Okay.
It's deaf.
I'm assuming
He can read lips. And
I'll
he
get
can,
you to come golfing with us
Right.
this summer. He is a funny
and he
dude.
is a funny guy, and it takes you a little bit of time because he
played-
can speak a little bit and he can articulate. But the first time I met him, it's like, "Hey, how you doing?" And he talks, and then I'm talking louder. I find myself like he's gonna
He can't
hear me
hear you.
because I'm talking
Yeah,
loud,
like
but
completely
you're
deaf.
you're
And he
like,
played-
you think you have
He
to
played
talk
linebacker
louder.
for Cincinnati too.
Right.
Wasn't he a
Right.
linebacker?
Yeah, he was a linebacker for Cincinnati, but
He's
it's
completely
funny.
deaf, and he can
Right.
kind of talk. Like once you're around him longer, you
Yeah.
can start to understand him
Right.
a little bit better.
But everyone's tendency is you think you need to talk louder because he can't hear you,
Right.
but he can't hear you, so he's not going to hear you. But everyone's talking, so everyone that talks to him is talking. You can hear him like talking loud, and it's like, why are you talking so loud? He can't hear you.
What's also funny, and I swear this goes back to faking it. If he's somewhere around and you're just he's not paying attention, but you're talking about him, you might be
Yeah.
making
Right.
fun of him, like you
Right.
scream in his backswing,
Yeah.
just to mess with him. He'll turn and look at you, and you swear he's faking it. There's times where I'm like, "There's
Right.
no way you just heard what I said,"
Right.
and it's like he did, and he's
Like,
completely
he
deaf.
knows, right?
Huh.
So yeah, so everyone just keeps talking when he's on the
Yeah,
tee box.
when he's on
Everyone
the
just
tee
keeps
box, you
talking.
just yell at him.
Everyone's just yelling and talking to him. Yeah,
Like,
'cause you
Rich,
can't
you
hear
suck.
You can say whatever you want.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's like,
you know, yeah.
that's what he'll be like.
But
goes,
he's
"Fuck
funny,
you."
man.
Not you.
Yeah,
That's what he says that all the time.
yeah. Not you. Ooh.
I like that. That's funny.
But it is.
I'll get you
everyone
to
that
sub.
talks
I'll
to
get you to sub in our league. You'll meet
Oh
Rich.
my god.
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, everyone talks to him. You can hear him talking to him. You're like, why are you being so loud?
Right,
He
right.
can't hear you.
I've had to serve
And he can read
guys
lips
like
really
Yeah.
well, but when you're like
Right.
yelling, it's obviously harder for him
Right.
Right.
than if you're just talking more.
Right.
Huh. Yeah, I've had to serve guys at work that were deaf, and it's like they would write out their order and give it to me, and he'd just be like, "Thank you." I'm like, "You're
Yep.
welcome."
Yep.
Like super slow motion. Like I just use my facial expressions. I feel
Right,
like,
but you act
Yeah.
different.
You
There's
act
no
way
reason.
different.
Yeah,
There's
there's no
no
reason
normal
to. There's
way,
no right.
yeah.
There's no reason to. But it's like
Right.
something that you do, and it's
forget how to
so
speak.
funny because it's
Yeah.
funny to watch people when they interact,
Right.
and it's like there's no reason to be that way. But I think that's
Speaking-
our instincts.
Speaking of golf, we're gonna have a golf video on the channel this year.
Yeah, we're gonna.
We're gonna need someone to come out and help film.
Yeah,
We gotta get. We should do.
I'm
should
gonna
do a
fix my
challenge.
game this
I would
year.
say either a challenge or like a 2v2 scramble or a four-man who can see what the best score we can get is. Or, I don't
Yeah.
know. Some of these people that are like big, all they just kept doing was being consistent with it. Like,
Well, sure.
Your content has
Well,
to be
there's
good.
There's some
but it's
weird
got to
stuff
be
out there,
good.
though,
You
too.
got to be consistent, and I don't. You can't be afraid of like. Because I think that's
Well-
another thing.
Well, no,
some
you're-
people are
yeah,
afraid to.
Not afraid, but
put
like all the
themselves out
people
there.
that sit there and they film themselves eating
Like they
all
might
the
be
time.
judged.
People watch them eat.
What?
Like the people that eat.
Like the
They'll just
mukbang
sit down and they'll
videos,
just eat and they'll just show
talk.
you what they're eating and they just sit
Yeah.
and do their stuff.
Right.
Or people, they put cameras in their rooms and stuff and like just monitor what they're doing all day long.
Yeah.
I mean,
What are
weird.
you
And
watching?
people watch.
What
I
is
don't
that?
watch that, but it's out there. I mean, all that stuff's out there.
I guess.
I mean, people just do weird things and
yeah.
people watch
People
it.
watch it.
I mean, you
Yeah.
just get in a niche of something that people do. I mean,
Right.
who would have thought that people's going to watch people playing slot machines and stuff at the casinos and all
Right.
that kind of stuff, and that turned into a big
That-
business now. I mean, hell,
They got.
it feels like we could just go to the bar and hang out at the bar and have a camera filming all the time.
You
just
could.
hanging out at the bar and people would watch
and
it.
you could. I think that would make
You
it
know.
cool. Everyone
Just
in the back
just
just
a-
have
Speaking of
Bar
bars, I've
scene,
always
you
said
know?
this. They gotta attach a bar to a Walmart, and you could sit there and people watch at Walmart and be at the bar.
Well, I always said, me and my buddy Greg, we said we wanted to go to the fairs,
Yeah.
and set up a booth, and just
and just
start
talk about
making
people
fun
are-
about people, make
Yeah.
fun of people as they walk by.
You could literally just.
You know,
it would
and
be
just all the characters. I mean, all
Right.
the
Yeah.
different people and different stuff. I mean, people watching this is actually kind of funny if you just sit there and
Right.
you're just chilling
just
and
talking. And,
watching people go by.
yeah. I mean, it's like
I
a
mean-
news broadcast with like the
Right.
Cavs or something,
Yeah.
or a news broadcast on the
Yeah.
streets, and people are just going about their days and just
Right.
don't care about
Yeah,
you doing
and
your
then
thing.
if people trip,
You know,
the best part was when we were in Ocean City. So we were in Ocean City, Maryland,
yeah,
and we had a condo that was like two floors up, second story, third story, somewhere like that. But we're right on
Is this
the
the
boardwalk.
last time we were there?
And yeah, I think so. And there was a bar that was right cat a corner to us.
Oh god.
So we were up, but we would go later in the, at night. I would sit on the balcony and watch, and just people watch people walk
Fair, yeah.
through the boardwalk. Well, about midnight, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, you'd see all the drunks coming out of the bar. And just the entertainment that you would get from
just from
drunks
watching that.
coming, and then they would guys would pass out on the bench that was sitting there, and the cops would come, and then they would try to do some stuff. Well, every once in a while it would rain, and so you get a little bit of rain. Well, that made the boardwalk slick as hell, which this one
I broke my phone and
figured
gave
out
myself a
and did
concussion.
a face plant
I
on the
started
board when I
running,
told him
it
not
was
to run
wet.
on the boardwalk because it was
you
wet.
that have the bad phone knock? Isn't that you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you.
But I was running on a wet boardwalk, fell, hit my head so hard, gave myself a concussion, smashed my phone in my
Oh.
pocket.
So I told these guys, I said, watch. So it rained.
Yeah.
And I said, watch, just sit out here. So we were with Chips. I had beer. They weren't old enough to drink. And we're just at, I said, here comes the entertainment. So you would see people come running down the boardwalk.
no.
And they go, and then next thing you know, they would just
Slipping and
slip
sliding.
and we would just cackle. I would just start
man.
laughing, and they would look up and they would see me, and we were just cackling.
Yes.
And they would just, it was one after the other.
Yeah.
One right after the other.
Right.
You're just sitting there just drinking and watching. You go, watch this one, watch this one. And they would go to just
And you know
boom,
what's coming.
and hit it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you know what's
No,
coming.
that kind of stuff is fun. You just people watch.
I like people
I mean,
watching. It's fun.
yeah.
Speaking of
sometimes.
people,
Yeah.
yesterday at the bar, what were we talking about? And then that drunk guy, there was this drunk guy next to us.
Oh, yeah.
I
Jake said something to me, and then he started yelling.
Yeah, so I don't know. We're just sitting there and talking to our buddy Jake, who's bartending, and this guy's just yelling at us. Oh, I don't know. She said it's one thing. I'm like, I don't even know what this guy's
No,
saying.
he was like, Jake said something to me, and he yelled at me, "What's said is done."
Yeah. So
Get it
so yeah,
on."
Jake's talking to Ken's, and then he's like, "Yeah, what's said is done," and he's like half on the bar, and he's laying like this, and he's yelling.
Oh my god.
And
Was
then
he
he-
by himself too?
Yes, by himself.
Okay, sad
Jake's
dude.
just feeding him beers because that's what he wants. Jake
So
hands him a
shady.
water. Jake even brought him a water,
That
and he
guy.
just like pushes the water back,
right.
and then goes, "Paper, paper."
Paper
I'm like, what? He wants a piece of paper.
Oh.
So Jake gives him a piece of paper, and he's sitting there. First we were watching him, and he was like trying to write on a dollar bill,
Yeah.
and then he's like, "Paper." So give him a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Finally, dude turns around, gives it to some girl like behind him on a table,
She's like, no.
walks away, and then come to find out, it said,
Name?
yeah, name Adam, drunk, yes. And then it was a phone number.
Oh my god.
We're like,
Hey,
what?
she was gonna shoot, right? She was gonna shoot. She was
And then later she goes, yeah, I'm gonna stay single.
yeah.
Poor
that-
fella. Actually, I
guy.
think I still have his number somewhere. I took it.
You should call him.
I was thinking about
You should
calling to make sure he was
call him.
okay.
Yeah.
Adam, make sure Adam's all right.
I had to have that one time. I went to Town Tavern in Green, and I went and it was late, and I was by
Green?
myself.
Is that Hartville?
Huh?
Hartville. You're talking
No, in Green.
Town Tavern.
Town Tavern.
I was thinking Hartville.
Yeah,
Tavern.
Town Tavern in Green. And one night I was there. I was heading home. I was sitting in my car for a minute, just listening to some music. I don't remember. I was on my phone. All of a sudden, some dude knocking on my window. Just couldn't call an Uber or something. I don't know. But he's like, "Hey, man," and he was drunk out of his mind. Drunk out of his mind. He's like, and I think the thing was, I was talking to him in the bar. I think he recognized me from inside the bar, but he knocks on my window, and I got tinted windows, by the way. And so I roll it down like, "Hey man, like what's going on?" He's like, "Can you give me a ride home?" I'm like, "Dude, I don't even know who you are." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, but
Did you give him a ride home?
I did give him a ride home. I was nice.
he
He
didn't die.
paid me $20. He lived right down the road, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, he just lived in an allotment down the road. But it was like, okay. Like I didn't expect it. You know what I mean? I didn't expect it. Just imagine some guy 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Not.
I got
Okay.
to
Speaking-
tell you my
Yeah.
my Vegas story.
I'd love to go back to Vegas. Vegas. is so
I know,
much
we gotta
fun.
go back.
Yeah, I would love to go.
How do
I wouldn't even mind going back to the Flamingo. Like,
I don't mind the Flamingo. That was
no,
fine.
not at all.
And you're not really in the room that much.
No.
And you can go into the other casinos.
Right.
I did like the Bellagio, but like the
Yeah.
price difference though, it's probably not even
Right.
worth it. You just walk across the street,
Exactly.
and the Flamingo's
but-
right there.
Yeah.
That one,
Right in the spot.
I
of
would. That
everything.
one place we went to when we couldn't get into the club because we had shorts on.
I know.
That hotel was really nice. I really liked that casino,
Yeah.
even though I lost my freaking putt there.
That was annoying. That you had.
That
to wear
was really
pants.
frustrating.
Yeah. The fact that we walked all the way there.
Yeah, that was a hike. It was like a 30, 45 minute walk.
Yeah, just to go to a different casino.
All right. So I'm ready when you.
You
right,
are.
we'll-
I'm gonna take a sip of this, and then we're ready to roll.
All right, we'll
Okay.
make this the last story, and then I think we'll wrap this thing up.
Here we go.
It's a funny story. So years ago when I played softball, when I was a younger man, our team, we used to go out to Vegas. We used to play in a tournament every year out in Vegas.
Yeah.
So the one year we were out in Vegas, and we were staying at the Flamingo. Beautiful place.
Beautiful
And-
pool.
Yeah, the pool inside. Yeah.
And so the one night we go down, and I'm trying to think. O'Shea's was next to it, and then there was another bar, and I don't know what the name of the other bar was. Well, we go in, and there's all 10 of us. We were in there, and my buddy Greg was like, "Hey, man, my back itches. Well, why don't you guys scratch my back?"
Mhm.
And we're like, well, yeah, we're not gay. No, we're not going to scratch your back, whatever. And the one guy goes, well, I'll give you $5. You go ask those women, because it was like these old ladies that were in the one corner. He goes, you go ask them to scratch your back. So he goes over there, and they scratch his back, and he's like, oh, he's playing it up or whatever. And they come back. Well, when he comes back, I go, yeah, well, I'll give you $10 if you find a guy with no arms to scratch your back. You know, we're in Vegas, and I'm being an idiot. We're drinking. I'm like, yeah, if you find a guy with no arms, I'll pay you $10 for that. Okay, no big deal. We move on. Well, in the meantime, one of the other guys from the ball team comes over and catches me and like 4 other guys that were standing with Greg.
Mhm.
And he goes, you guys got to come over and see this. Oh my God. He goes, you got to see this. Come on. And we're like, what? What are you talking about? Well, in this bar, it was like an old style, and it was a sunken, they had like a sunken dance floor.
Mhm.
And you walked down into it. There was a stage, and there was somebody singing. They were singing Elvis songs.
Right.
And he goes, you got to see this. It's Fat Elvis. And we're like, what are you talking about? He's no, I swear to God, it's Fat Elvis. He's singing, and he sounds really good. So we're like, okay. So we go over there, and we start moseying over. And this is what we see. He was sitting in a chair.
Holy moly.
He was sitting in a chair, and he was
Oh,
singing
holy
Elvis songs.
Let me see that.
He was,
That's
and
a lot of mail.
they had like old
That is a
Elvis
man.
movies that were playing in the background.
That dude's huge.
And he was singing, but he sounded awesome. And there was all these people in this pit.
I want a burger.
And at the time, you know, we're all in our 30s. We're in our late 20s, early 30s. And all these people were in like their 60s and 70-year-olds that were all
Of course.
sitting around,
Right.
and they're just amazed with Fat Elvis. And so we were kind of standing up in the back. So all of us are kind of standing around. And he gets through his set, and he's talking, and then he goes, hey, it's Ethel's 95th birthday. Let's give it up for Ethel.
Oh no.
And we start clapping, and everyone's like standing there, and he goes, hey, one of you young guys up here, which we were all standing up. He goes,
Right.
one of you young guys needs to come down here and dance with Ethel. And we're like, what? And looking around, and we're like, hell no. And so we push Greg out there, and we're like, Greg, go dance with Ethel.
Poor Greg.
So he goes and he starts singing one of his songs, and he's going into his song and stuff, and Greg's kind of out there with Ethel, and she was wearing a jumpsuit that was like a zip up, like a one-piece jumpsuit.
Right.
And
So
this
that's
is
Ethel
Ethel,
there.
and starts giving him the.
Oh, God.
Oh no.
So we got a picture,
no.
and Greg was like, "Whoa, what's going on here? Like, what's going on here?" And we're just
Oh, no,
ripping it up.
no,
yeah.
Poor Greg.
So we're like, no way, this is not happening. Like, what is going on here?
Right.
So, so when you see the picture of Ethel, it's like, oh, really? So then we move on. So now we're out of that place, and now we're going to go to Harris. So we're going to head down the strip, and we're heading down to Harris. So as we're walking down to Harris, I go, you got to be kidding me, because I see it, and my other buddy on the team, his name was Matt. He's like, no way. And I go, this is my luck. This is really my luck going here in Vegas. And Greg's behind us. And he's going, he's not going to stop, is he? I said, hell yeah, he's going to stop. I said, I'm going to lose $10 freaking dollars. And he goes, no, he's not. No, he's not. I said, yes, he freaking is.
No.
And so we go, so as we walked by, I turn around and Greg's like, yeah, give him my $10. He walks up to this guy. I kid you not, this guy's on a rascal scooter, has no freaking arms, and has a cheeseburger on his shoulder. And he's gnawing on this freaking cheese, on this cheeseburger with these nubs.
You do not have a picture of this guy.
And I do.
Oh, you do
right
not.
here. Here's his little freaking nubs. And I had to give him $10 to Greg, and Greg put it in his bucket.
Where's his hair?
So yeah. So no, he had a
barber
cheeseburger.
took his hair.
Yeah. So look, he's got the money. He's got the money right there in his hand. His little nub.
Oh
and
my
Greg,
God.
But Greg, he's
Wait, where are you
actually,
at?
I'm right there.
That's you?
Yes. And he was actually,
That does not look like you.
and he's scratching his back. I turn around and Greg's like, can you get it lower? And he's got his little nub and he's freaking scratching his back. And I'm like, and Matt looks at him like,
That's
you gotta be crazy,
That
man.
is
What the heck?
insane.
Yeah. So then I'm like,
That
Jesus
is
Christ, I can't even
insane.
freaking make a bet that I think
Right,
I'm not
right.
gonna lose.
Right.
So he comes back.
That's when the sports betting.
So I'm like, so I'm in the Hirsch mode of, I can't. I just
fade
give it
my
up.
picks.
Just give it up
Right, just
because
give
I
it
can't.
up. Right.
So we did a double or nothing.
Yeah.
So I said, well, you got to give me a double or nothing.
Yeah.
And he says, what's the double or nothing? I said, the double or nothing is we got to find a hair lip.
A what?
A hair lip. Do you know what a hair lip
Not
is? A guy
really.
that's got like one of those jacked up lips.
Okay. Oh, yes. Yes.
Cleft lip.
And
Yes.
you got to ask him to say Worcestershire sauce. He can't say Worcestershire sauce. It's got to be a slick Worcestershire sauce.
Okay.
And that was for $20. So anyway, we move on.
You cannot make this up.
So we
This is
so we
not
get to
real.
Harris.
Oh.
So now we're at Harris. And at Harris.
Have you heard all this before?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for the most part.
Yeah.
So at Harris, we're partying, we're having a good time. And Greg and my other buddy Dan, so whatever, well, they turn around, they get beers at the bar and they turn around and Dan grabs his beers like you would at any other bar, but he turned around with his elbows up for whatever reason and he freaking nails this girl right in the freaking lip. So he nails her in her lip. She screams, what are you doing? My buddy.
She's got
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
go
my
ahead.
buddy Greg turns around and says, hey, I'm his attorney. Do you feel, are you going to press charges? Because she, like the two women were just going, pissed. Like,
Yeah.
that's all, it was an accident.
Yeah.
He didn't mean
right,
to do it.
Right.
But he's like, I'm his attorney. Do you want to press charges? And he starts talking all this legal mumbo jumbo to him. And they're like, whatever.
Yeah.
And we move on.
Right.
So we end up in Harris. So we go into the casino from there.
Okay.
So as we go into the casino, we find a hair lip. And this is God honest truth, man. It's like one thing snowballed after
This is
another.
all in the same day.
This is all on the same night. All on the same night.
Goodness.
So I said, you gotta ask him, man. You gotta ask. Well, dude puts up $500 on black,
Who does?
the hair lip.
Oh.
So we're watching because we're kind of watching the table. We're getting
Yeah.
a feel because
Right.
you just don't want to walk up to him and go,
Right.
"Hey, man, can you say Worcestershire sauce?"
Yeah.
So getting a feel. He's putting $500 on black, comes up red. Turns around, puts another $500 on black. Comes up red.
Oh,
And this dude's just fuming. I go, you got to go tell him. You got to. And Greg's gone. I'll give you the $20 because he's really angry.
no. I wouldn't walk up to him. He just lost
So he
$10
wouldn't walk
grand.
up to him and ask him to say Worcestershire
What
sauce
did-
just because he's really
What did you
angry.
call that? Getting even or
Yeah.
getting even worse?
Yeah.
Getting even worse.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
You coined that up in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Getting even worse. Like, I'm
The
on
roulette
an
table's not been a good deal.
I'm on an all-time bad streak betting. Like it's
Yeah.
it's not even worth it ananymore.
I haven't
I
placed
know,
a
I
bet
feel the
since the
same
Super
way.
Bowl.
Wow.
Feel the same way.
I placed Texas Tech today. They lost to Michigan.
No.
I lost $20.
Yeah. Well, I lost too because I lost St. Mary's didn't cover by 2 points. They ended up winning by 3 instead of by 5. But I needed them to. Killed my parlay yesterday.
The worst part is when I don't bet what I say. Like today, the game was on. Arkansas was plus money against whoever they were playing. I'm like, Arkansas is totally gonna win. Like I'm just saying it to my friend Evan, and they're plus 160, and then they went on by like 10 or something. And then I was like, oh, dude, Michigan. I am feeling Michigan's gonna win. I bet the other team, whatever reason,
Yeah.
Michigan wins. I'm like,
Right.
okay,
Yep. Happens.
maybe I am just dumb.
I'm cursed
You know?
too. I'm right there with you, man.
Right.
Mobley needs 1 rebound.
So.
I've lost.
Well, here's a fat Elvis.
Yeah. Fat Elvis, man.
Here's a
I'm
fat
all out,
Elvis
but
in a good
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
a good podcast, boys.
On to the next.
Well, next we'll see you guys next time.